What's up, it's your girl Mo and welcome back to my channel. Now I know it's been a minute since I've done any type of makeup related content on this channel, but that's all changing today. I'm super excited because this brand called SuperSponge reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try their product. No obligation to share it with my audience whatsoever, so this is totally up to me if I want to film kind of like a first impressions or a review or whatever. And if I like the product, I can share it, and if I don't like it, I don't have to say anything at all. So I'm just going to be doing a first impressions on this product called SuperSponge. Super cute packaging. They sent me all three colors. I actually already opened up the purple one, which we're going to use today, but this is what the packaging looks like. I'm already giving them an A+ for packaging because it's literally the cutest thing. And like when I saw this, I was like, oh. You know how us women are with packaging, especially me. I'm just like, oh my god, I just want it. So this is what the product looks like. It is a silicone infused beauty sponge. So the bottom of it is a regular sponge material that we're already used to, but the top layer is coated in silicone, and it's supposed to help to apply your makeup even more flawless than normal, and also use less product than you normally would with a traditional sponge. So yeah, I'm excited. These sponges retail for $19.99, and on right now, at least as I'm filming this video, it says if you buy one, you get the second one for 25% off by using the code TWO25, TWO25. I'll list it here on the screen. This is not my code whatsoever. It's just what they have on the website. So hopefully by the time I upload this video, that'll still be that'll still apply. If not, I'll make sure I comment down below and let you guys know. But other thing I wanted to mention is that this is the packaging that it came in, cute little box. In the inside of the box, it actually has some quick little pointers about the sponge. It says to soak your sponge thoroughly, fully saturate with water for the first time, squeeze excess water out of the bottom, but don't squeeze too hard, bounce and blend the foundation, and you'll use half of what you normally use. And then it also says that part of the packaging is what you'll use not only to dry the sponge when you're done with it, but also to help clean and scrub it if you need to. So part of the silicone packaging is supposed to help help it be what's the word, non-comedogenic, is that the right word? It's supposed to help to alleviate germs and also to help it clean a lot easier. Okay, so last quick note that they made mention of in the email, which is a really important thing to keep in mind, is it says you want to only use a bar of soap when cleaning the sponge. If you use liquid, it'll damage the silicone coating. So again, if you do try this sponge, make sure that you don't use liquid when it comes to cleaning it so that you don't damage this silicone coating on the top. The bottom of it is left uncoated so that you can pick up excess product if you need to. Okay, so again, I have not used this yet, but in my mind, the silicone part of the sponge is going to apply the makeup almost just like laying on top of the skin. So the bottom part being uncoated is going to work more like a traditional sponge. So you want to use that to kind of pick up the excess and also properly blend it out, you know, so it doesn't look like it's just sitting on the surface. That's my initial kind of thought, but we're going to get into it right now so we can actually test it out. So the foundation that I'm going to be using today is the Anastasia Luminous foundation. I'm wearing the shade 510W, and I did about 1.5 pumps worth, which is what I normally do. Quick little note, I personally never use sponges to apply my foundation. I always use a brush. That's always been my preference for years and years and years. So I am going into this kind of as a newbie when it comes to using a sponge to apply it, and I'm hopeful that it'll all go well. But I just want to make sure I mention that because this is not something that I do all the time. So it's really, this is a first impressions for real, okay? So I'm like nervous and excited at the same time. All right. The way that it sounds going on the skin, listen. For all of you ASMR lovers. So far, this is looking bomb. Okay, so one of the things that I will mention, since we've been in quarantine and I haven't really been wearing makeup at all, the few times that I do put on makeup, I actually prefer a much lighter application than what I'm used to. Like you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, like I used to go ham. I'm going in with like 3 pumps minimum. I'm putting on extra concealer. Like I like my face beat to the gods. Like if I'm gonna put on makeup, I want to be beat. But that hasn't been my preference anymore, especially again since the quarantine started. So why I say that is because I'm noticing right away as I'm applying this how natural and skin-like this looks. Like when I go in with my brush, like for example, days that I go get my hair cut, and I'm in a barbershop full of men, I almost always put on just like a little bit of foundation just because I don't want to be in their bare face. Like there's some cuties up in the thing, you know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest. So I try to put on like a light layer of foundation, and before you know it, I gotta go in and just put on my whole face because I don't really like, I feel like there's just no happy medium with my normal technique. But this is giving me all the confidence in the world that I can literally put this on and look how skin-like it looks already. Like I'm not done yet, but are you guys seeing this? This almost looks like I have no foundation on. And I haven't even used the bottom of it yet. Yes, God. I'm definitely not gonna say that I'm using less foundation than I normally would so far. You can see that I'm still picking up foundation on the back of my hand. So I'm not necessarily using less than I normally would, but for how it's applying, it's making it look more natural. So I feel like if I wanted to build it up, I would actually have to go in with more product, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is what the skin looks like so far. All right, now I'm just gonna flip to the bottom of the sponge and just kind of go around just to make sure that we're evened out and there's no excess sitting anywhere. But honestly, I did not feel like there was excess product at all when I just used the silicone part of the sponge. So the other part of this that I'm kind of curious about is the cleaning process, because you guys know with like normal beauty blenders or other beauty sponges, it's hard to get dark makeup off those sponges and get the sponge to looking brand new again. So I am gonna test out the cleaning part of it, but so far I'm impressed. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my concealer. This is the only other step of my foundation routine that I would use a sponge for. So I'm just going to go in with my Pat McGrath concealer. This is an MD27. And I'm probably applying way too much considering how light my foundation coverage is, but that's cool. All right, so I'm just going to go back to the silicone side of the sponge and start blending out my concealer. Okay, yeah. I feel like I used way too much concealer for the way that this sponge applies. And as it claimed, it's definitely not soaking up a lot of the product, which is a good thing. So it's keeping the coverage there, which is something that I appreciate. But because of that, you need less product for sure. So I'm gonna flip it over now and just try to not only blend out the edges of the concealer, but also make sure I pick up any excess, because I think I really did go in with way too much. So as I'm applying this, I'm also noticing how soft the sponge feels. It literally feels so different, like so much more unique than the traditional beauty blender. This one is dry, but even when it's wet, the feeling of a beauty blender is way different than what this feels like. This is literally like soft and squishy in like the most interesting way. And obviously, as you can see, it applies makeup really, really well. So whatever way they engineered this here sponge, I'm actually really, really liking it so far in comparison to, you know, what I've been using for years at this point. Okay, so now that I have my concealer on, I can see the areas where I want to add just a little bit more foundation to kind of like even everything out a little bit more. So I went in with another little pump of the foundation, and I'm just gonna go around these areas up here. I've been using this new skincare product to get rid of all my hyperpigmentation, and it's causing dry patches on the places where I have dark marks. So I want to cover those up a little bit better if I can with the foundation. All right, so you can see that I only used a little bit more of the foundation to kind of like fully balance everything out, because the concealer was so flawless that it was making my foundation look not like up to par. So I had to even everything out, and now I'm happy with the results. So I'm just going to finish up my face real quick and come right back with my final thoughts on this SuperSponge. All right, guys, so we are back. Makeup is done. Yes. I will be sure to list everything that I'm wearing down below in the description box. It's literally the same old that I wear all the time. I think I have on a new lip color, if anything, but that's it. So I'll list it all down below in the description box for you guys. But back to these sponges, honey. Okay, so I don't want to be overly excited prematurely and claim that I'm going to be changing the way that I do my makeup now, because you guys know I always use a brush. But This sponge actually made my makeup, I feel, look even more flawless than it normally does, and I'm here for that. Like, can you see this? Let me zoom y'all in. I truly, and I did not use that much makeup. Like, I really didn't. My routine is the same that it always is, but in terms of like how much product I applied to get this finish was not a lot. This sponge really did make a difference, and now I can kind of better understand why some people do prefer a sponge over a brush. A lot of times people's complaint is that a brush leaves streak marks and they don't feel like they get like a very even, flawless finish, which is not my experience. But even I noticed the difference between the sponge and the brush now, and I'm like, maybe I need to give the sponge another try. So I'm definitely going to keep playing with this and update you guys. Again, follow me on Instagram if you want updated thoughts, or if you guys have any questions, of course, leave them down below and I can address them in a future video. But yeah, like, it feels so different than a normal beauty blender or, you know, or other beauty sponge that I've used before. I've used the one from Real Techniques. I've used Sonia Kashuk from Target. So this definitely feels the best of all the ones that I've tried, just as far as like the texture. But I will say, after I cleaned it, and it's going to be really hard to capture on this camera, but I can still see like ever so slightly the residue of my foundation is still on the sponge, and you guys will see in the clips that I insert, I actually did wash it right after I used it, so it does do a good job at staying clean, but it's just not 100% clean because my makeup is dark. So I mean, that's just one of those things that I'm already used to with any other sponges that I use, so it's not a big deal to me. But it does say on the packaging, which I didn't even point out, by the way, the back of the packaging says revolutionary silicone infused sponge, saves 4 times the makeup, limits germs, stays clean, and 5% of all profits go towards helping dying coral reefs. This is a cruelty-free brand. It's a patent pending. If I'm not mistaken, this symbol says that they either use recycled materials or this is a recyclable product, and then it says it's latex free. So this is what it looks like when it's wet, and this is what it looks like brand new when it's dry. So it does get a little bit bigger. And then again, I do love the fact that it comes with a little stand that you can use for cleaning and for allowing it to dry. Honestly and truly, I love this product. I'm not even gonna front. I can't contain it. I'm excited about it. I will continue to use it and update you guys as I mentioned. So if you have any questions, leave them down below for me in the comments. But other than that, I'm gonna recommend that you guys check it out. The link will be down below. If you decide to try the product, let me know what your thoughts are once you get your hands on it. And until next time, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you liked today's video, and I will see you guys really soon in the next video.